All right, guys. We will try to cover the last sessions. I will try to answer the rest of the questions, and then I will show you some other questions that will happen on a test, and also go over the last most difficult ones. Yes, I would try to make it as clear as possible. And yep, let's continue. All right. This one is the eighth question. Camilla plans to retire in 40 years. She wants to have 60,000 each year during the 30 years of retirement. So you see, this is have some delayed of from year 0 to the year 40, right? And then for my intuitions, usually 60,000 each year during the 30 years of retirement mean that she gonna start receiving her money on the year uh in the last year or the beginning of year 41, right? 60,000. She gonna receive that for each year, 60,000 for how many years? 30 years, right? For another 30 years. For another 30 years. Okay. Um, all right. How should we? Okay. Another way you could do this is, I think in this way, to make it easier. So at the year 40, right? I'm gonna write 0, I'm gonna write 1, and then it's gonna be for 30 years, right? I think that could be one way to make it easier. So you could immediately see that this is a two-part process, right? The first part is you have to discount these yearly, I think year, right? Okay. Yearly 60,000 back to the year, what? Year what? Year 40, right? Because first you have to discount everything back to year 40. The 60,000 each year back to year 40. And then from year 40, you're discounting back 40 years. Right? Okay, so first part, what do we do? 20, so you're gonna enter something like this. How many number period? 30 years, right? 30 period. In this case, it is 30 period. The IY interest discount rate is 8%. So IY is 8%. What is the payment? What do you guys think? Should be 60,000, right? It's gonna be 60,000 each year for it's gonna be 60,000 each year for 30 years. All right. And then you hit compute present value. So this one is 3 things, find the 4 things. Remember to clear your calculator. 30 for the N, 8 for the IY, payment 60,000 for the payment, compute present value. Yes, I got 675,467. Yep, something like that. Okay, this one. And where is it on the cash flows? It is right here, right? This present value is at year 40. However, if it asks you to find the present value, which is at this time, then you kind of know that this present value, you have to convert it into future value and then compute this present value, right? Of how many years? 40 years, 40 period. However, in this question, it doesn't ask that. Some case, most of case, it asks that, but in this case, it asks you to find what? How much must she save each year if her account is expected to earn, right? So it's asking for payment that she have to save each year for 40 years in order for her to, after year 40, she will be able to receive 60,000 for the 30 years after that. So still, this guy, you still convert it to future value, right? Of 675, 467. Number period. How many number period you see? 40, right? Yes, 40. IY, still the same, 8%. And then you compute what? This time you compute PNT, right? Because it's asking for the payment. Okay, let's do that. Remember to clear your calculator. Boop. Okay, I got an odd number. Let me recalculate. Or maybe it's right. Let's see. 675,467 for the future value, 40 for N. IY is 8. P present value. I got 2,607.41. Let's double check. 2,607.41. That's the answer. All right. Let's continue. Okay. What was the growth rate in net income over the previous 5 years period if the profit? Okay, growth rate, right? If it's asked for growth rate, it's asked for the I or IY, right? Make sure you know that. 5 years, if the company profit grew from what? This is present value, right? To what? Future value, right? Remember the rule. If you, let's say you put this positive, remember put this negative. What does it ask for? Okay, it also say that it's 5 years, right? So this is N. So you have N equal 5, period. IY is something that you have to find. It gives you present value, 1.50. Future value, remember to put a negative if you put the other, if you put the present value is positive. 2.26. All right, so 4 thing. 1.50. Let me clear the calculator first. I always forgot. Present value negative 2.26 is future value. 5 for number period, compute IY. What do I got? I think I got, yep, I got 8.54, right? 8.54 is the answers. Sometimes you see that you think that this is asking for the percentage change, right? But the keyword is growth rate right here. The percentage change, they would say that it's the holding period return, something like that. I will have a couple other problems I'll show you real quick down below. But let's go through this first. Okay. How much will Miss Lynch have in 3 years if she deposit 1,000 in her account? Okay. This one is future value, asking for future value. Okay, this one doesn't say any payment, so I guess it means you just put out 1,000. And then compare, remember this one is quarterly, right? So 1,000, and then she just want to see what is 1,000 be like if it's compounded quarterly um after 3 years. Okay. So present value, put 1,000 or negative 1,000. It doesn't really matter. Number of period, how many periods is it? 3 years, but compounded quarterly, right? So 4 times it's gonna compound in a year. So 4 times 3, 12, 12 period that it's compounding. IY 6%, but for how many years? For how many times per year? Four, right? Compounded quarterly, right? So you're gonna be take 6 divided by 4. What you guys got? 6 divided by 4 is 1.5%. And then you just find future value, right? 3, find 4. Okay. 1,000 for the present value, 12 for a number period, 1.5 for the IY, compute future value. Yeah, just remember to clear your calculator before you're doing anything. So 1195.62. Let me double check. 1195.62. That's correct. All right. 11. Let's see. Oh, okay. This one is interesting. Okay. What is the U to maturity? What does this one asking? Right. Okay. 1,000 corporate bond. Okay. So you remember what? 1,000, and the tips here is whenever you see 1,000, usually it's talking about bond, and usually that is FE, right? Now you could put FE is 1,000. Okay, 6% coupon. This one is talking about coupon rate, right? Talking about coupon rate, and let's see what is the coupon payment. So to find a coupon payment, I talked about this in previous videos already, but just want to make sure everyone got it, is coupon payments is equal to coupon rate, which is 6%. 6% is called coupon rate, okay? Coupon rate. You're gonna take 6%, multiply with 1,000, which is the face value um of the bond. And what is it? 60, right? $60, which mean that the government gonna pay you a period, every period they're gonna pay you $60, and then at the end they're gonna pay you 1,000, and then the $60 at the end. Okay. However, more interestingly, do you see semi-annually? Right. So which mean that you divide this by 2, because this 60 is for a year. And then to find the semi-annually, which means half a year, you just divide by 2. So 30 is a coupon, what? Payments, right? Okay. Uh, mature in 25 years. Number period. 25 years. Multiply by what? 2, right? Because it 2 times per year, and there's 25 years, so that is 50 periods in total. That is gonna pay you $30. It currently has a market price of 1314.23, right? So that is the present value of 1314.23. Okay, so put everything together. FE, you put 1000. If you put 1000 for that, remember to put FE as a negative 1314.23. So two things you have already. Number of period, three thing you have, and then the coupon payment, which is PMT, right? Is 30. And now fourth thing, one, two, three, fourth thing, find the fifth thing, which is what? The IY, right? Okay, let's do that. There's a catch. I'm not sure if you catch it, but let's input first and then I'll explain. Okay. Remember to clear everything before you solve this problem. Right, I put 1000. I'll put a positive sign. 30 for the PMT, 50 for number of period, 1314.23 with a negative signs for the present value. Hit compute IY. All right. The IY you got is 2%, right? But the catch is in this type of problem, when it's talk about bond, at the end, this one is still in the semi-annual, right? 2% is semi-annual. You have to convert it back to annually, right? So how do you do that? You do that by what? Multiply by 2, right? So the IY annually will be 4%. Yes, because U to maturity, YMT, U to maturity is in terms of a year and not in terms of semi-annually. So this is the answer, 4%. Yes, 4%. All right. Cool. Thank you for hanging around. Before we jump into the last final hardest possible questions, I'll show you some other questions that will be on the test. So make sure that the word problems, the things that you see in chapter 1, I think she will throw 1 or 2 questions in there. She's gonna ask what is secondary market, what is the something like that. Yeah, just make sure don't focus too heavily. Just make sure that you do some readings and yeah, just pick up some free points. Okay, other things is she gonna ask you to find what is corporate earning per share. What is earning per share, right? So it's just I would say it is earning divided by number of total share will lead to the solutions. Yep, just looking at this question and see if you can do it. If not, I remember there's a sections. I will see, let's see here, real quick. 120 minus expand, minus interest expand, right? And then divide by, common share is cash dividend. Yeah, I think you have to, I'm not sure if you have to minus dividend as well. I forgot about that part, but there's some formula that you could use. Make sure you know how to find earning per share. I think she's gonna throw 1 in there. Just pick up some free point. Also, this is gonna be on the test as well. This one is what is the holding period return? It just means that you're gonna find the percentage change, right? Let me show you real quick. Before this question right here, this one, it's asking for the growth rate, not the holding period return. The one I'm tell you guys before. But this one, it's telling you to find the holding period return. Where is the percentage change? So just so stock for 88. So this is well, 1 second. Okay, so this is the one that is sell for 88, right? Before it's is 100. So you want to find the percentage change that it changed over time. And then right here, receive 2 cash dividend check of $1 per share. Well, let's see. Let's see. Okay. This case is say that 2 cash dividend check of $1 per share each. I think that is referring to you're gonna receive a dividend of $2 as well. So that is 2 plus 88 minus 100 divided by what? Divide by 100. The reason is because the equation for this holding period return, I remember it is um the one that you cash out plus the dividend that you received during that period minus the previous price that you bought in divided by the price that you bought in. This is just the equations. It's also called percentage change. And so the answer should be 2 plus 88 minus 100 divided by 100, right? So it's gonna be negative 10%. And the answer is negative 10%. So make sure you also know how to do this. It's gonna throw in there as well. I kind of remember there's some way that the professor can make it harder by, let's say, it could say that the dividend is paying quarterly or semi-annually, something like that. So make sure you looking out for that and know whether to multiply by how much. Like say for quarterly, then probably you multiply by 4. Semi-annually, you multiply by 2. Something to watch out. Here's our other things you could practice on, but here's another thing that I think will help you guys is this one right here. This will be on the test. Yes, this one right here, very somewhat tricky if you don't know how to do it. So make sure you understand what it is saying. And what it's saying is that, let me browse through the notes real quick, make sure that I'm explaining this correctly. Let me let me double check 1 second. All right. So something you guys need to watch out as well is some other things you guys need to watch out is this one. Let me show you guys. Okay, this question right here. Oh, let me move it down. Okay, this question right here, you are so it's talking about bonds, right? If the coupon rate is greater than the discount rate, then the bond will sell for premium, right? And if the coupon rate is smaller than the discount rate, then you are selling for a selling for a discount, sell at discount. And if they happen to be equal, the coupon rate and the discount rate is the same, then you are selling at par. It's called sell at par. Okay, let's go through this. I give you some intuitions to make it easier. bond is sold at a price of this, IY, which is the what discount rate, right? Of 6.67. If the default risk of the bond increase, okay, what is the default risk? Okay. Let's say that the risk of failing is increasing. As investor, you want to compensate for that riskiness by increasing the yield to maturity, right? You want your return to be higher, right? Because you say, okay, the bond is much riskier, so I want my return to be higher. So let's say that it's increased from 6.78 to 10%, right? To 10%. Then what do you think happened to the present value of that bond? If it's 10%, the price will be decreased, right? Because it would take because it would the present value will be smaller than when it with 6.78%, because 10%. Okay, I will give you example right here. Hopefully this helps. So $100 to present value. If you discount it back with the 10% and the present value of $100 with 6% discount, you will see that this value is smaller because it would take less. It would take less to get to 100, right? Because it would take because the interest is so high. Therefore the present value is smaller. This one is 6%. The present value will be higher than this one right here. Because it would take more to multiply with the 6% to get into $100, right? This one would take less. The present value when you multiply with the 10%, which means the present value don't have to be as much as this one to get to 100. Hopefully it's helped. However, one thing to notice is there is the inverse. There's an inverse relationship between prices and yield to maturity. Okay, so if yield to maturity increase, then price decrease, right? Present value, price, aka present value, right? So it makes sense right here. If the risk increase, therefore I want a higher yield to maturity. If the yield to maturity increase, what did I say? Present value decrease, right? And what is it right here? The bond price to decrease and yield to maturity to increase. And what is that? If it's the same as discount rate, which primary? Yes. So in this problem, you couldn't say if it's selling for premiums, selling at discount or at par. But yeah, this question will be on the test, and just keep an eye out. Okay, I will make a separate last video just dedicated for the hardest questions, and I hope it helped.